But this Netflix announcement today is coupled with their announcement yesterday about raising prices. And it's so interesting to see all of these star-studded ensemble pieces, like Jeff alluded to, that are going to be on Netflix, that are going to start shooting. And all these projects are in production concurrently. And so it does beg the question, what is Netflix's dollar like right now? Are they massively in debt? As some reports have indicated that they're, I mean, I've seen crazy numbers, and then you also see all the content they're putting out. So, Perry, is this going to be a growing problem for Netflix? Is the bottom ever going to completely fall out? Then all of a sudden we lose all these movies, all this original content, and we no longer are referring to Netflix as a current thing.
I think that of all of the existing streaming services and the rising streaming services, we're basically just talking about a whole ton of risk across the board. Everyone's trying to catch up to Netflix. Netflix is trying to continue to outrun them, and that requires that you spend a crazy amount of money in hopes that it will pay off down the line. So there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that as all these streaming services attempt to rise, a lot of them are going to go bankrupt, and they're not going to be able to keep up and sustain this kind of business model anymore, because the truth of the matter is, when we get all of these, we're only paying for a handful of them. No one's going to get every single subscription service out there.
No, and I think that they made the right maneuver as far as if they knew they needed a price hike, Jeff. If you're having a meeting with your board members and you say, look, we are going to have to jack up prices because we're making a lot of original stuff. We do not want to get any further in debt than we possibly already are. You say, okay, Disney has their streaming service coming out later this year, but most of the general public is like, oh yeah, Disney's going to do something eventually. So before it's concrete that, oh, now I can go get the Disney streaming service, that is when you jack your own prices, because you do not want to have the Disney streaming service debut and then a week later say, oh, hey, remember us, we're Netflix? Yeah, we need 2 more of your dollars a month because we're getting a little desperate here.
I mean, Disney could certainly come, now that the price has been hiked at Netflix, Disney can come in and undercut it. Here's the thing that it breaks down to, though. So I saw this tweet. If you're paying for Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime, which are kind of like the 3 biggest streamers right now, that is more than a cable bill. But that's a big part of that is that Amazon Prime costs $100+ because, you know, I use Amazon Prime not for the content, but for the shipping, the free shipping. You know, the content is just a nice bonus.
You mail a lot of stuff back home to Boston.
I order a lot out on Amazon.
You fly
I like
members
the free
out
shipping.
here to watch trailers.
Exactly.
We know how you do it.
So. See, now I lost my thought because you're too damn funny.
It's the 3 things that we sign up for that are more expensive than some cable
if you're
bills.
a Star Wars fan or an MCU fan, Disney Plus may be the streaming service that you feel like you have to own. To me, Netflix is still undervalued. The $2 price hike means nothing to me. I would gladly pay twice as much, period. Like, if you doubled the Netflix
Please don't
cost.
put that thought in there.
I know, but like I was on Netflix last night. It's endless the amount of stuff that they have that I would find entertaining, and I don't really care about the MCU shows or the Star Wars shows. So if I had to just pick one, it would be Netflix, and I think it's worth every penny. I mean, think about what we pay for a 2-hour movie. Like, to have Netflix for $13 a month, think of the hours of content that is. I think it's the greatest deal in entertainment.
Even with the risk of burying itself in debt, you still think that it's
not my problem.
Being undervalued. No, I'm not even talking about like you as a consumer anymore. Just the long term as Netflix's debt continues to rise, because that's the issue that I keep reading about every time there's a quarterly earnings report and they reassess how much debt it has. It's always the question, oh, has Netflix been overvalued the entire time? We're constantly talking about Bird Box being the biggest hit ever, but they're spending an insane amount of money making this original content to outrun everybody. Does that ever catch up to them?
I mean, yes, and like, you guys should follow like I think it's Enti Lawyer or whatever on Twitter. I'm forgetting what it is, but there's like an entertainment strategy guy as well, and Netflix is a house of cards in that sense. Like, they're just getting deeper and deeper into debt, and forget about how much money they're spending on the content. Think about how much they're spending on personnel when they're offering publicist jobs for $300,000-$400,000
and research and development. Think about how much money even just went into Bandersnatch alone to build the technology to support something like that.
Exactly. But the whole point of doing that is to essentially muscle all the, like, they're putting studios out of business. They're putting studios who have been in business for decades out of business, or at least putting them on the ropes. And once those studios go under, and you know, we're losing Fox, we could lose Sony or Paramount, you know, in the near future, then you only can turn to Netflix. So they're like almost like trying to create a monopoly, and that's why everyone in the industry is trying to copy them right now.